And our political leaders cannot be naive. And I'm not mixing my words. I hope that Honorable Kagame, I have great respect for you, particularly for the building of Rwanda as a model of African countries. But I am fully aware in my own research and knowledge that for you to go where you are, you had to go through a rigorous process and you survived the genocide. And you must be the one who must be most sensitive to the pain of the genocide, because you saw it happening in Rwanda. We cannot in this day and age, Honorable Kagame, take up our guns and point them towards our fellow tribesmen, the Hutus and the Tutsis that are in Congo. True to say, they are next to your borders. And Lawrence Andile, awuhlale phansi in South Africa, please. Awuhlale phansi nje kancane. Hlale phansi, there are more than 20 flags I'm holding here. I don't know why you become so obsessed with South Africa. Hlala phansi mfethu, let's do some lesson time. I've not heard these people complaining. I've not heard these people complaining. I've not heard these people complaining. I've not heard these ones complaining. I've not heard these ones complaining. But there is this group here. Yabo Andile. Just shut up a little bit and listen like a good student and become wise once in your lifetime. Now, due to the borders that were demarcated by the colonialists, then each country trying to defend what they now call their own sovereignty, their own colonial sovereignty. They decided to protect their own borders, and in protecting their own borders, they maximized on the vulnerability of Congo because of it being a war-torn country. We are not mixing words, because many of the countries that are surrounding Congo, have actually directly benefited from the mineral resources of Congo. And one of the biggest beneficiaries of those resources can not be none other than Rwanda herself. Through the eastern borders, the gold, the diamonds, and some of the illicit gold. However it is mined in Congo, it is none of Kagame's business. But once it crosses over into Rwanda, it has been able to be sanitized. And in one way or the other, Rwanda has become a gateway of some of the blood, diamonds, and illicit gold that is actually being mined in Congo. Zambia cannot refuse. Much of the gold and diamonds that are coming out of Congo are going through Zambia. Uganda cannot be quiet, because some of the gold and diamonds that Uganda is enjoying are coming from Congo. Angola cannot be quiet, because some of the gold and diamonds that Angola is enjoying are coming from Congo. South Africa, you cannot be arrogant about a mashangani na makwere. I did my research. From 1994 to date, South Africa has benefited more than 17 billion worth of trade between Congo and South Africa. And these are makwerekweres, these are mashanganis, whose resources are keeping Anglo-American, Anglo-Ashanti gold, are keeping Axaras, are keeping the Coca-Cola's headquarter offices in South Africa, are keeping the Checkers and the Pick and Pays. Some of your multinational companies, your Vodacoms and your MTNs, are making money in Congo. Big business people such as Patrice Motsepe, Kulubuse, Zuma, and Womzi Kumalo, the list is endless, are milking money out of Congo. Now my question is, how do you send national armies to go into Congo as peacekeepers when we know they are not going there for peacekeeping? They are going there to protect the investments of fellow businessmen from your own local country. So the war of Congo is not just a war of Congo of rebels. Let's put it into perspective. It is a war on resources, the resources of Congo. America, I thought Trump was going to say something about Congo during his inauguration, because some of the biggest companies in America, such as Apple, such as Microsoft, such as the oil companies, are directly drawing resources from Congo. China is in Congo. France is in Congo. Dubai and Middle East is in Congo. Russia is in Congo. By the way, the amount of rainfall and land that is in Congo, if the whole world goes dry, there is one place that will have fountains that don't run dry, and that is Congo. And Congo has enough vegetation, enough land, and the most perfect temperature to feed the whole world over. Congo can feed the whole world over. No wonder we have never had peace in Congo, because the day Congo gets free, Africa will be free indeed. Africa will be free indeed. Some of those weird minerals you see where you touch and electricity sparks out like that, found in Congo. Gold, you pick it up on the streets in Congo and in the rivers. Diamonds and coltan for making cell phones, found in Congo. The richest country in the world, richest country in the world is Congo. Congo. Land of the hunters and the gatherers as they drifted away from Sese Islands in Nelubale, the great cradle of mankind in the Nile, the navel of mankind, between the mountains of Runzuri and Mount Kenya, where civilization of humanity started. We cannot be talking about Congo as if we're talking about anyone else. We are talking about a country whose rivers, whose resources are the backbone of the entire universe of this world. And the jungles of Congo, those forests of Congo, the tropical forests of Congo, which are being cut down daily, control and regulate the temperatures of this world, including America. The temperatures of America are cooked right in Congo, in those forests. While they're pumping carbon into the atmosphere, Congo is keeping this world breathing oxygen. The amount of oxygen those forests are pumping into the atmosphere. So we cannot just be quiet when we hear that Congo is at war. Because the war in Congo is a war against humanity. It's a war against me. Myself, Maponga J. If I believe that I started off in Guruswa, way there in Nelubale, in Sese Islands, where we should have started, I also, as a Nkima person, Nkima, who is the Ngube, Nkima, who is Mkanya, Nkima, who is Rafiki, Nkima, who is the great baboons and the monkeys of the south, are also found in Congo. The Nkimas are in Congo. My blood relatives. I have Congolese blood also that flows in me. Some of my relatives are there. Any African political leader who takes away the life of another human being forfeits the privilege for their own lives. We don't need to respect such people. We are one people. And if we believe as Africans that we started off in one place as one nation, so maybe it is true that in the distant past, me and you, in the blood of our forefathers and our ancestors, we sat down together and we spoke. We ate together. We played together in the loins of our forefathers. I am you. You are me. I am because we are. And that is not a cliche. Every African is your brother. Every African is your sister. By legitimizing our countries, we are legitimizing the Berlin Conference. And by legitimizing the Berlin Conference, we create enemies out of each other. Once we say that Berlin Conference is right, therefore I have my country, I have my country, me too, I have my country, and we swing around these stupid little flags that give us some form of false identity. And because you have a flag in your hand, you think that it is legitimate, that you can abuse another African because they hold a different flag from the flag you're holding in your hand. Then some witchcraft has gone on into our minds, and we have lost our sense of identity and our sense of being. As I'm talking to you right now, the SADC chairman has called for an agent meeting right here in Harare. Ramaphosa has flown into the country with some of the SADC members here to discuss the battle lines of Congo and the war that is raging in Congo. And Kagame fired some shots in the air. If anyone wants to come here, they can come. I'm ready. Well, Kagame, that's being irresponsible. That's being irresponsible. I respect you. You don't talk like that. In this day and era, we don't instigate war. We don't instigate black on black violence. We don't do that. I saw a group of Romanian soldiers. I don't know how they ended up in Congo. I don't know who sent them into Congo. But they're there in Congo. Instead of you butchering those Romanian soldiers, mercenaries from Romania, you killed your own South African black brothers. And we know these things. It's business. But what is sad is that the rich politicians, their business partners, and their multinational partners will use our African armies, send our boys and girls to go to war, to go and protect their investments. And they die at war, only to come back, and then they have this thing put on their grave as a thank you that you died for your country. But we know for sure none of those soldiers in Congo died for South Africa. None of those soldiers in Congo died for Rwanda. They died for business interests. So if you want to protect your interest, I suggest that therefore you need to send in your own security companies, private security companies, to go and protect your private interests. But you cannot be in this day and age as African leaders, be sending our African children in the uniforms of national armies to go into Congo to go and fight to protect your business. And then you come back and you bury them and you put a flag on their grave and say, may their soul rest in peace. And you sing the national anthem. I think, Ramaphosa, you are being very irresponsible. Wes, when I was hearing Malema talking this morning, that you send soldiers to Congo with no guns, with no bullets, with no drivers for pilots, etc., and people go and die there in the name of dying for South Africa, while you put millions of dollars in the couches of your own house. No, come on, guys, this is not right. This is not right. I think sooner or later we may need to call a meeting. I want to call a meeting. I want to call a meeting for Kagame. I want to call a meeting for Hakainde. I want to call a meeting for Jodo Lorenzo. I want to call a meeting for Dennis Sassou Nguyeso. I want to call a meeting for Mwalimu himself, Museveni. I want to call a meeting for Sululu Hassan to say, guys, before it is forever too late, Tanzania, we need to come around together. I want to meet you up at Mount Rwenzori for a reflection meeting, a serious reflection meeting. And after I'm done with you on the mountain of Rwenzori, I want to take all of you, all 9 of you, 9 presidents, I want to take all of you to the river in the Nile, personally, and I will help you to clean up your hands of the blood that is dripping in your fingers. And while you're on that, on the 9 presidents, I think number 10 must be Ramaphosa, and number 11 must be Honorable Emmerson Mnangagwa, because Zimbabwe was also in Congo earlier on and they did some damage there. But in one way or the other, we cannot run away from the fact that the blood of our own brothers and sisters is found in our hands. And it is important now than ever before that we need to change our marching orders. We need to change our style of governance. We need to change our political strategies away from guns and liberations and shooting bombs. We need a different kind of soldiers beyond 2025. We need economic revolutionaries who will be looking for things that bind us together more than things that separate us. We'll be looking for blood that connects us more than flags that separate us. We need a new kind of leadership that is respect for each other rather than killing each other. And I'm not sparing even my own country of Zimbabwe under the leadership of Honorable Emmerson Mnangagwa, and I address him even as the chairman of the SADC region. That negligence and silence while the war is happening in Congo cannot be a blessing. It's high time that we as Africans, we begin to look for our African solutions. And those solutions are found in conversations, in understanding. How did we end up with so many different flags? And we fail to see each other as Africans, because the white man has told us that once you hold a flag that is different from another country, it means that you are a better person than the other person. This only happens in witchcraft, that a brother will forget a brother. I want to call a meeting at Mount Rwenzori with the 11 presidents: Angola, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, Republic of Congo, Congo Brazzaville herself, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa. We need to start having a conversation. And after I'm done with you on Mount Rwenzori, I want you for a big wash away your wickedness and your sins in the great river Nile, and clean up the blood that is in your hands, and come up with a unified voice of where Africa must go. We lack and we miss you as leadership to begin to show us a path that will champion Africa towards the future that we need and the future that we want. Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, the Sahel countries are leading the pack. We need a new conversation in the south. Congo gives us an opportunity to start that conversation. I'm not scared of any one of you. I'm not scared of any one of you. Time for business has started. And as such, I hope when all of you, I know you will listen to this message, when all of you listen to this message, you will take it seriously and will implement it you will protect yourself and protect your children. If you continue being greedy the way you are going to leave your children in misery and die with gravel in your teeth. Take advice. Make peace when you can still make peace. Time for war is coming. But the war I will call upon is not a war with each other. It is a war with the enemy. When brothers fight to death, enemies will always eat the spoils. I think I am ready for you, my honorable Africans. I am what you are waiting for. And you are what I am waiting for. Let's stop waiting. Let's meet. Well, hello one and hello all. Welcome one more time here on your favorite channel, Farmers of Thought, where we're discussing African politics, African science, African medicine, African culture, fashion, indigenous medicines, governance, education, and everything else between. The whole idea is to get African people talking about their African problems and seeking for those critical African solutions. Hello one and hello all. My trip from Burkina Faso was concluded yesterday, and I'm back in Harare, and we had a wonderful time there, looking at what Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing. Wonderful work. The revolution on the continent is real, and those who are taking their business seriously of transforming their countries, building new narratives, are making inroads, serious inroads in terms of development itself. And quite exciting to see that the program in Burkina Faso is running with military precision. One take home that I found in Burkina Faso is success. I've always known this, but it was made more clear with my visit into Burkina Faso, that if a country wants to be successful, we should learn to reduce the distance between our planning and our doing. The things that we plan and the things that we do. So the government in Burkina Faso is running for the past 2 years and no break. They are just working like horses, and they've done a beautiful agricultural project, sewing and making of cloth. It's on steroids. Now I'll have a chance of showing you some of the clothes that I picked up in Burkina Faso. The food production, now electric car production also, and quite a fascinating trip. I got some souvenirs. I think I'll do a program next week. But I think I ate something on the Ethiopian Airways on my way back, and my tummy is giving me wahala. It's giving me problems. I had a chance also of passing by Ethiopia and refreshed some Amharic language in Damnemeshesh, Danadra, Yene Konjo, Batam Wadishalo, Atanagiralo. Thank you very much. It was quite nice. I remember some few friends that I had at university, and beautiful, wonderful people like Amde Zudalem, Skindre Behane, Perke Kidane, Ifa Wakwaya, the other guy, Amahala or Mahalia, something like that, Dr. Maritu, beautiful people from Ethiopia. It was nice to pass by Ethiopia. I also got some few things from Ethiopia. But while we were there, the events of DRC Congo came to our attention. And I wish just for this afternoon to take a few moments and walk us through the issues prior to colonization, as we are moving actually into the new dispensation. I wish I had all the flags in my hands for the countries that are directly affected by this disaster that is now happening. All this multiplicity of flags that I have in my hands, their involvement in the conflict that is taking place in Congo. Prior to colonization, we did not have these flags that you see that I'm holding in my hands here. The land of Congo has been the bone of contention. For those of you who have done history, what you now call the Berlin Conference can also be called the Congo Conference. You call it the Congo Conference for the biggest prize to be won during the Berlin Conference was Congo. And Belgium and King Leopold, they won the trophy to have Congo to themselves. And the Germans went down to Namibia, the Portuguese went to Mozambique, and the British came to Rhodesia. The Italians tried their luck in Italy, in Ethiopia, and the British also made their way to Nigeria, and the French made their way to the Sahel region, into Rwanda, into Burundi, and parts of Congo also, they were there, and Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Cameroon, and some of the countries up in the north, Chad, to result in now what we call the Francophones and the Anglo-Saxons. The country of Congo is surrounded by 9 illegitimate countries. The country of Congo is surrounded by 9 illegitimate countries. I will explain why I call the countries illegitimate. Because there's no way in our politicking as Africans can we come around as scholars and argue that the Berlin Conference was wrong. And we condemn the Berlin Conference with the strongest terms possible for its disrespect and its vile nature of taking a pencil and drawing lines across people's homesteads, people's farms, people's tribes and nations, and demarcate those countries, provinces, lands into now what has come up to be called countries. The land of Africa is one big mass, one huge mass of land, from Cape to Cairo, from Madagascar to Senegal, from the south to the north, from the east to the west, the Indian and the Atlantic Ocean. But during the Berlin Conference, they sat down and they divided Africa into various colonies. Colonies simply meaning that the colonizers that I've mentioned above, each one of them took a bit of the land, if not all of the land, and created these colonies, which have now grown to become countries. So I call the countries of Africa illegitimate, all of them illegitimate countries, which are backed up by illegitimate governments. And I want us to have an academic conversation. So there's no need for emotions, especially from the people from this flag. There's no need for emotions. It's a class time. Let's do some learning. Just relax a little bit and let us have a good conversation. Oh, Zimbabwe, of course. Zimbabwe. I cannot miss Zimbabwe is right here. Zimbabwe is right here. Lesotho Lesotho is right here. Botswana, I think it's right here. Oh, well, a couple of you guys, I try to, every time I visit a country, I try to get a flag so that while I am doing my conversations here, all of you can feel represented. They're not yet fully complete, so a few more countries still missing. There we go. So all these flags that you see that I hold in my hand, they are illegitimate flags. Illegitimate flags. No matter how sentimental we want to become about these pieces of cloth, their genesis and their maintenance has very little to do with our African continent. The breaking away of the Berlin Conference, which resulted in all these flags, including those that are not here, resulted in countries. Now, you as a good scholar, how can you come around and say the Berlin Conference was wrong, and yet you want to legitimize the countries that were created by the Berlin Conference? When you'll appreciate what I'm saying as I go and as I conclude my conversation for this afternoon. If the Berlin Conference was wrong, in principle, in action, it means that the aftermath of the Berlin Conference cannot be righteous. It was wrong that countries were demarcated along economic colonial boundaries, not along cultural and tribal divisions. In other words, when they were drawing and cutting Africa into pieces, they did not consider where which tribe ended where, which language ended where, which nation ended up where. The vendors that are in South Africa, the vendors that are in Zimbabwe, they need passports to visit each other. The Tsongas that are in Zimbabwe, the Tsongas that are in Mozambique, they need passports to visit each other. The Tswanas that are in Zimbabwe, the Tswanas that are in Botswana, the Tswanas that are in South Africa, they need passports to visit each other. The Rosis that are in Zimbabwe, the Lozis that are in Zambia, and the Pedis that are in South Africa, they need passports to visit each other. But these are all one nation. So the Limpopo River cannot be used as a boundary between Zimbabwe and South Africa, because you find cousins and uncles and relatives living across both sides of the river. Now, you need to understand that kind of background for you to be able to apply your mind to what is happening in Congo. Now, Congo, very uniquely, is surrounded by 9 countries. Congo is surrounded by 9 countries. There is Rwanda on the eastern side. There's Burundi. There is Central Africa. There is Republic of Congo. There is Uganda. There is Zambia. There is Angola. And all these countries, 9 of them that surround Congo, have people, have tribes that belong to these countries as they also belong to Congo. In other words, there are tribes that are in Zambia, the Lozis and some of the Ngunis, that are actually attached directly into Congo. There are the Hutus and the Tutsis that you would find in Rwanda, that are found in Rwanda, and they are also found in Congo. In Burundi, in Uganda, the Bankoles are found in Congo, as they are also found in Congo. The Zinde tribes, you can go on to name the Changa tribes, and most also the Basoka tribes, and many more, the Twa tribes, the Batwa, as you also find them in the southern region, Abantwana, Batwa, that Twa sound, which is actually a root word for some of the southern clans here, including the Khois and the Sangs, Batwa, Bantwana, Abantu. And when you come to the Hutus and the Tutsis, the Hutu, that is what we call Wunu, Wutu, Ubuntu, Butu, Hutu, Utu, the humanness of the African. And the Tutsis could be actually, the word would find its way into the Lozis, into the Roses, the Lozis, the Tutsis, and these are all but one African nation, which was de-enfranchised and divided by the Berlin Conference. Now, having said that, so along all the borders of Congo, where all these various quote-unquote provinces, which now call themselves countries, be it the Rwandese, be it the Burundians, be it the Ugandans, be it the Angola, be it the Zambians, be it the Republic of Congo, and all these nations that surround Congo. They cannot claim that they are not related to Congo, because what is in Congo is also in their own countries. But look, due to the Berlin Conference and the division that took place during the Berlin Conference, and lines were drawn between the Hutus and the Tutsis that are in Rwanda, and the Hutu and the Tutsis that are in Congo, Zaire. The Hutu and the Tutsis that are in Burundi, and the Twa people that are found on both sides, north, east, and south of Congo. The governments of these surrounding countries, looking at the vulnerability of Congo due to war, justified they are under the colonial regimes to protect their border cities from the insurgencies and wars that were taking place in Congo. They placed their military barracks within their own borders to protect their borders from illegal immigration, number one. One wonders from who? The Hutus that are in Congo are running into the Hutus that are in Rwanda. And the Hutus that are in Rwanda would kill the Hutus that are from Congo because they have a different passports. The Tutsis would kill the other Tutsis because they have a different passport.